Hi and welcome to Knowledge Centre TV. For those of us in business, one of the biggest problem areas that we have is finding good staff, good, reliable, trustworthy staff. I know from my own personal experience that it's not what you see is what you get, and things like degrees, knowledge, experience, all of these things are what we consider most important, but actually they are secondary to what Performia Australia do in their recruitment methods. I have with me today Managing Director of Performia Australia, Mr. Gareth Jekel, and for those of you who are in business in the jobs of recruiting people or finding personnel, you'll be very interested in meeting him. And before I introduce him, I just wanted to show you this little graphical picture that they have, and it explains quite a lot. You've got in business here these gentlemen trying to pull the business up the hill. You've got some guy working really hard, another one helping, assisting, a couple going along for a free ride, and this guy here holding them back. And they explain in their system, and they have a method of being able to identify who you have in your business or who you're hiring and who's doing what. So without any further ado, I'll bring in Gareth. Welcome, Gareth.
Thanks, Tony.
So tell us, when looking for staff, what is one of the key things you'd look for?
Well, the most important thing is to know that the person is going to be able to add value to your organisation. And what we know with all the people we've got put through our systems, which is over 1 million people now worldwide,
wow,
is that the main thing is, has the person been able to add value to an organisation in the past? You know, have they got some sort of verifiable production record? And this actually takes precedence over knowledge and experience, because, you know, you can bring someone into a job that has lots of knowledge and experience, but that experience could actually be, you know, causing some sort of damage in an organisation, or, you know, getting no actual real result that adds value to that organisation.
Right, and you test for this, do you?
That's right. There's two things. You can interview to know if a person has got past production, and also we have an online system for actually sending out questionnaires which a person answers and gives us a good indication of what sort of value they've been able to add to organisations. Interesting. Well, for our viewers here, you're going to be doing a special breakfast in the coming weeks where people can learn more about this? That's right. So what we've done, we've condensed down like our whole 5-day training, and we give the very key information in this 2-day seminar where people can leave there with exact tools on how to speed up the whole recruitment process, how to make interviews, you know, in the first 5 minutes, know if this is a person you'd be interested in, as well as some very useful information to know, you know how and why people do produce and add value to an organisation, and why some people go into an organisation and actually can cost a lot more money than what you pay them.
Okay, so there's something here I think viewers would be interested in, and you said a 5-minute interview.
Yes.
What's that exactly?
Well, you know, let me say, if you're going to go and buy a racehorse, you know, the first thing you're going to ask the owner of the racehorse is, you know, how fast can this horse run? Mm-hmm. If the owner tells you, it's like, you know, the only time I've ever seen this horse run is when, you know, the barn was burning down. It's like, you're not really going to be any more interested in this horse.
Yeah.
Because we know that if a horse hasn't been able to run fast, it doesn't matter what training we do for it, it's not going to run fast in the future. And, you know, it might seem quite callous to draw this connection between candidates for employment and a horse. But the thing is like, you know, I've never seen, and I haven't found anybody that's ever seen, somebody that couldn't work well or couldn't produce results in their past job come in and actually start producing results in their current job. So with the exact right questions to know and how to cut through the usual social veneer people have in an interview, you can know in the first 5 minutes whether the person is going to add value to your organisation and how much value they might be able to add.
Wow, wow. So no more hour-long interviews. You can use the Performia system, which you can learn from Gareth at his 2-hour breakfast event, and do interviews in 5 minutes, which sounds pretty good. You mentioned something there about, you know, people who you may have never done good in a previous job, they're not necessarily going to do well in your job. There are some people that you can hire, and you're almost better off not having them in your organisation to begin with. You know, you're better off, like, as desperately as sometimes we need people in business, and I've been through this myself. You kind of think, let's just get someone, and you kind of get anyone. But sometimes you're better off not having anybody at all, because the person you get sort of drags you down or drags your organisation down, or other workers. Yeah. You've experienced this.
In my own businesses, yes.
Yes.
And also with our clients, and there are, and we know there's actually 2.5% of the workforce out there that when they come, if you hire one of these people and they can look fabulous in the interview, and we've actually even had clients that have offered this type of candidate more money than they are even asking for to work for them. They come into the organisation, they're not watched so much because you think they're going to do such a good job, and then what actually really happens is they go into the organisation and start to deflate the other staff. They start to undermine projects that happen, and we call these people suppressive people because they suppress the things that go on around them and suppress the other individuals. And the thing is, there's no, it's an infinite amount of money and time and lifestyle these guys can cost you. You know, if the worst case scenario was like, I'll pay this person and they do nothing, if that was the worst case scenario, it wouldn't be so bad. The thing is, you pay this person, they don't just do nothing and produce nothing. Now what they do, they cost you a lot of money. They cost you the good employees. They cost you, you know, projects that should have been easy and just run through, but they go away. They cost you, you know, clients. You know, the client that just should have been a lifetime client is no longer a client. And these guys are so good at actually undermining the things that go on, is it can take, you know, 10, 15 years of them being right by your side before you suspect them.
Yeah, well, I certainly have experienced it myself. And with the Performia system, what our viewers can learn by coming to the breakfast session, they'll be able to learn how to identify these people.
That's right. We'll give some, you know, very pertinent information on that. And it'll make it a lot easier to spot the guys that are really working with you and creating value, and the guys that are actually working against you and devaluing your organisation.
Interesting, interesting. Well, thanks very much for joining us on Knowledge Centre TV, Gareth. I'm sure our viewers have gotten something out of that.
Yep.
And well, hopefully you'll see some of our Knowledge Centre members at your upcoming breakfast sessions. So
yeah,
thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Tony.